Humanity stood before the stars as a minor species, small and quiet in a galaxy that valued size, strength, and long history. For centuries, humans had looked up at the night sky and wondered who might be watching them. Now they knew the answer. Many were watching and most did not care. To the great empires of the galaxy, humanity was young, fragile, and easy to ignore. The summons came without warning. A signal reached Earth from beyond known space, carrying symbols that scientists struggled to understand. When they finally decoded it, the message was simple and terrifying. Humanity was ordered to present a representative before the alien queen. No explanation was given. No choice was offered. Fear spread quickly across Earth. Some believed it was the beginning of the end. Others hoped it was a chance to prove humanity's worth. Long debates followed. Generals argued for strength, scientists for knowledge, and leaders for diplomacy. In the end, they chose someone unexpected. Aaron Hale was not famous. He was not powerful or wealthy. He had no great titles. He was a cultural envoy trained to listen more than speak. He studied human history, languages, and behavior. His calm nature had helped settle disputes between Earth's own nations. When his name was chosen, many questioned the decision. "He's too ordinary," some said. "He won't survive," others whispered. Aaron himself did not protest. When he was told, he nodded slowly. He understood the fear behind the decision. Humanity was not sending a warrior. It was sending a message. The journey to the Queen's domain took weeks through folded space. Aaron spent much of the time alone, staring at distant stars through the ship's viewing window. He thought about Earth, its oceans, cities, children, and endless noise. He wondered if he would ever see it again. Still, his heart remained steady. Fear was there, but it did not control him. When the ship arrived, the sight before him stole his breath. The Queen's court floated inside a massive structure shaped like a crown of light and metal. Thousands of alien beings filled the chamber, each different in form and size. Some had wings, others scales, others shapes Aaron could barely describe. Their eyes followed him as he stepped forward, a single human among giants. At the center sat the alien queen. She was vast, towering above all others, her form glowing with soft energy. Her eyes shone like distant suns, ancient and sharp. She had ruled for longer than human civilization had existed. Worlds rose and fell at her command. To her, time was a slow river, and humans were sparks that flashed and faded. Aaron felt the weight of her attention the moment she looked at him. It pressed against his chest, heavy but not painful. He stood straight, hands at his sides, breathing evenly. He did not bow too deeply, nor did he stand proudly. He simply stood as himself. The court was silent. "So," the queen said, her voice echoing through every mind in the chamber, "this is humanity." Her tone was not cruel but curious, like someone examining a small creature found by chance. "You are smaller than expected," she continued. "Your species has spread quickly, but speed is not strength." Aaron did not answer right away. He knew better than to rush his words. The queen leaned forward slightly. "Your kind stands at a crossroads. Many before you begged for mercy. Others demanded survival through force. You will do neither." Murmurs spread through the court. Some aliens watched with boredom. Others with hunger. The queen's eyes narrowed, studying Aaron's face. She searched for fear, desperation, or pride. She found none of it in excess. That amused her. "You interest me, human," she said. "Because you do not tremble." Aaron finally spoke. His voice was clear, though quiet. "I am afraid," he said honestly. "But fear does not always mean weakness." A soft ripple passed through the chamber. Honesty was rare here. The queen laughed, a sound like distant thunder. "Interesting indeed." She rose slightly from her throne, her presence filling the space. By ancient law, when a species stands before judgment, its representative may be granted a single wish. At this, Aaron's heart tightened. He had known this moment would come, but knowing did not make it easier. "One wish," the queen continued, "to reveal the truth of your people. Your desire will show us who you truly are." Many eyes fixed on Aaron now. Some expected him to ask for protection. Others thought he would beg for time or technology. A few hoped he would reveal human greed, proving them right to erase humanity. Aaron remained still. The queen smiled, confident. "Choose carefully," she said. "Your wish will not be refused." Aaron took a slow breath. He thought of Earth again. He thought of farmers waking before sunrise, of teachers shaping young minds, of strangers helping strangers during disasters. He thought of mistakes, wars, and failures, but also of growth. He looked up at the queen, meeting her gaze. In that moment she saw something unexpected. Not defiance. Not submission. But calm resolve. The queen waited, certain that whatever came next would confirm what she already believed, that humanity, like all young species, would reveal its weakness when given power. And so, with the fate of his people balanced on a single choice, Aaron prepared to speak, unaware that this quiet moment would echo across the galaxy far longer than any battle ever could. Aaron stood in silence as the queen's words faded through the vast chamber. The weight of her offer settled over him, heavy but clear. One wish. Not a request, not a plea, but a choice that would shape how the galaxy judged his people. He felt the eyes of hundreds of species fixed on him, waiting for the moment humans would reveal themselves as weak, selfish, or desperate. He did not rush. He did not bow his head. Aaron slowly raised his eyes until they met the queen's burning gaze. Many in the court expected fear to finally show itself, but his expression remained steady. Inside him, thoughts moved carefully, like stones placed one by one across deep water. He knew this was not about saving himself. It was about what humanity believed it deserved. The queen tilted her head, watching him closely. She had seen countless species stand where he stood now. They all asked for the same things in different words. Longer lives. Stronger bodies. Weapons to stand against enemies. Protection from extinction. None of them understood that asking for power only proved how little they trusted themselves. Aaron took a slow breath. "I will speak my wish now," he said. The court leaned forward as one. The silence sharpened. "I do not ask for weapons," Aaron continued. "I do not ask for longer life or greater strength. I do not ask for protection or rule." A low ripple of surprise moved through the chamber. The queen's eyes narrowed, not in anger but interest. Aaron paused again, choosing words that would not break under misunderstanding. "My wish," he said, "is that you understand humans. Not our machines. Not our science. But our hearts, our fears, and our hopes." For a moment nothing happened. Then the laughter began. It spread across the chamber like a wave, sharp and mocking. Some aliens made sounds like clicks or hisses, others like roaring wind or grinding stone. To them the wish sounded foolish. Understanding feelings was not power. It was not defense. It was nothing that could stop conquest or death. The queen herself smiled, amused rather than insulted. "You wish for understanding," she said. "Do you believe feelings make a species worthy of survival?" Aaron did not react to the laughter. He had expected it. He had heard it before, on Earth, when people said kindness was weakness. "I believe," he said calmly, "that understanding changes choices." The queen studied him. She searched for deception, for hidden meaning, for a trick. She found none. The wish was honest, simple, and strange. "You give away your moment," she said. "You could have asked for much." Aaron nodded slightly. "Humans already ask each other for much every day. We live with the cost of those wishes." The laughter slowly faded. Some in the court grew uncomfortable. A wish like this broke expectations. It did not fit into conquest or trade. The queen rose from her throne. Energy moved along her form, brightening the chamber. "Very well," she said. "Your wish is granted." She lifted one glowing limb, and the air itself seemed to bend. Ancient forces stirred, older than empires, older than stars claimed by flags. The court watched closely, still amused, still confident that nothing of value would come from this. The queen expected a brief flash, a passing thought, something small. Instead, the change struck deeper than she intended. It began quietly. She felt warmth that was not her own. A strange closeness, fragile yet strong. Images appeared without command. A human child holding a broken toy, still smiling because someone tried to fix it. A crowded room filled with laughter despite little food. Two people standing together during a storm, afraid but refusing to leave one another. The queen stiffened. This was not data. This was not memory she could dismiss. It carried weight. She felt fear without weakness. Fear mixed with action. Humans running toward danger to pull others away. Humans crying then standing again. Pain was there, but so was stubborn hope. The court noticed the change before she spoke. Her glow flickered. Her posture shifted. Aaron remained still. He felt nothing change within himself. He only watched, knowing that the wish worked outward, not inward. The queen tried to pull away, to separate herself from the experience, but it followed her thoughts. She felt human doubt, human regret, and human choice. She felt mistakes made and owned, losses remembered long after power could not fix them. For the first time in her long existence, she felt small without being weak. The court fell silent. No one laughed now. The queen lowered her arms slowly. The chamber felt different, heavier, as if something unseen had settled into its walls. "You wished for understanding," she said quietly. "Yes," Aaron replied. "You did not ask for mercy," she said. "You did not ask to be spared." "No," Aaron said, "because mercy can be taken back. Understanding cannot." The queen looked at him for a long time. Her voice, when it came again, was no longer amused. "This wish was not meaningless," she said. Some of the watching species shifted uneasily. They had expected a display, not a turning point. The queen returned to her throne, slower than before. The ancient laws had been followed. The wish was complete. Yet something remained unsettled. "You may step back," she told Aaron. He obeyed, taking his place among the observers. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. He only hoped. The court whispered among itself, confused and uncertain. They had witnessed many judgments, but never one like this. Above them all, the queen sat in silence, surrounded by echoes of human hearts she had never planned to hear, knowing that the laughter had ended far sooner than she expected. The change did not arrive like thunder or fire. It came like a breath drawn too deep, sudden and impossible to ignore. The queen felt it move through her mind before she could block it. For a being who had ruled for ages without number, the feeling of something entering without permission was strange and unsettling. She tried to command it to stop, but the force of the wish did not answer to authority. It answered only to truth. Images rose around her, not as visions placed before her eyes, but as experiences pressed directly into her thoughts. She felt warmth first. Not heat, not energy, but the quiet warmth of closeness. She felt a human parent holding a child during a long night, staying awake despite exhaustion, simply because the child was afraid. There was no reward for this act, no order given, no promise of power. Yet the parent stayed. The queen felt the steady beat of a heart that refused to abandon another. She tried to pull away, but the wish moved forward. She felt fear next, sharp and cold. Not fear of punishment or loss of status, but fear of harm coming to someone loved. She felt humans step between danger and those weaker than themselves. Some were trained, others were not. Some succeeded, others failed. The fear remained the same. It did not stop action. It pushed action forward. The queen's thoughts trembled. In her empire, protection was assigned. Roles were enforced. Strength ruled openly. Yet here was a different pattern. Protection chosen freely. More moments followed, flowing without pause. She felt strangers helping each other after disaster. Hands reaching through smoke and rubble. Voices calling out names even when no answer came back. Humans sharing food when supplies were low, knowing hunger would follow but choosing to share anyway. The queen felt confusion mixed with resolve. These humans gained nothing, yet acted as if something greater mattered. Loss arrived next, heavy and slow. She felt grief press down like deep water. Humans mourning those they could not save. She felt tears, silent and loud, felt shoulders shake and voices break. But grief did not end the story. It moved forward. She felt humans return to broken places, rebuild homes, speak names so they would not be forgotten. Loss was not erased. It was carried. The queen's body shifted on her throne. Energy flickered across her form. Members of the court noticed but did not speak. They sensed something dangerous, not because it was violent but because it was unfamiliar. Hope followed grief, soft but stubborn. The queen felt humans planning for futures they might never see. Parents teaching children kindness in a world that often punished it. Teachers standing before tired students, believing knowledge mattered even when progress was slow. Humans failed often. The queen felt those failures clearly. Plans that collapsed. Trust that broke. Promises that fell apart. Yet she also felt humans standing again, adjusting, trying once more. She felt unity without command. In her empire, unity was enforced. Minds aligned by rule and fear. Yet human unity formed without orders. It formed through shared pain, shared goals, and shared belief. Humans argued, fought, disagreed. The queen felt that too. But when true danger arrived, lines blurred. Differences mattered less than survival together. The queen's breath slowed, though she did not need air. Her thoughts moved slower than before, weighed down by understanding she had never sought. She felt humans choosing restraint when violence was easy. Choosing words instead of force, even when force would be faster. She felt humans forgive, not always, not perfectly, but enough to change outcomes. Forgiveness did not erase memory. It reshaped the future. Power, as she had always known it, began to feel incomplete. For ages, the queen had believed power was control. Absolute command. The ability to decide fate without question. Yet the emotions she felt did not weaken humans. They strengthened them in ways power alone never could. Humans endured not because they were strongest, but because they refused to face darkness alone. She felt courage rise, not loud or proud, but quiet and steady. Humans facing illness with dignity. Facing uncertainty with humor. Facing death with words meant to comfort others rather than themselves. The queen felt shame stir faintly, a feeling she had not experienced since her earliest cycles. The court remained silent. Time stretched. The queen tried to separate herself from the human experience, but the wish did not fade. It did not overwhelm. It settled. It rooted itself gently but firmly. She understood now why the human envoy had not asked for weapons or longer life. Understanding did not add strength in the way empires measured it. It changed how strength was used. For the first time in her long reign, power did not feel absolute. It felt limited. It felt shaped by choice. The queen lowered her gaze. She saw the human standing far below, small and still. He had not moved. He had not spoken. Yet he had changed the balance of thought within her court more than any battle ever had. She realized then that humanity's greatest threat was not conquest. It was influence. The wish completed itself quietly. The flow of emotion slowed, then stopped. What remained was memory, clear and sharp. The queen sat in silence, surrounded by beings who sensed the shift but did not yet understand it. She had ruled the stars through fear and law. Now she ruled herself through reflection. And in that moment the universe felt larger than it ever had before. When the queen finally spoke again, the sound carried a weight the court had never heard before. Her voice was slower, quieter, and filled with thought instead of command. The glowing walls seemed to dim as every being listened. She did not rise in anger or pride. She remained seated, calm and steady. The silence stretched long enough to make even ancient minds uneasy. Power once filled every word she spoke, but now something else stood beside it. Understanding shaped her tone, and certainty no longer ruled alone within her vast presence. All waited for judgment without breath or movement. She looked across the court and saw confusion ripple through many forms. Some expected punishment, others conquest, others silence. None expected restraint. The queen lifted her gaze higher, letting it pass over countless worlds represented there. She spoke of law, of ancient tradition, and of cycles of rise and fall. Yet her words did not press down like chains. They opened space. She announced that humanity would not be conquered, harvested, or erased. Humanity would stand apart, untouched by imperial claim. The declaration struck the chamber harder than any weapon. Many listeners froze, unsure how to respond or think now. Murmurs spread like slow fire among the gathered species. Some shifted in disbelief, others in fear. A few felt anger, sensing loss of future dominance. Humanity had been marked, not as prey but as something different. The queen raised one hand and the court fell silent again. She explained that humans would serve as observers of the galaxy. They would watch, learn and walk freely. They would not kneel and they would not rule. Their role would be choice, not command. This status carried risk, responsibility, and freedom unknown to empires. It changed balances silently across countless stars now today. Aaron stood quietly as the words reached him. He felt no triumph, only weight. Humanity was safe, but safety carried purpose. He understood that observation meant honesty. Humans would be seen as they truly were. The queen's gaze found him again, steady and open. For the first time she addressed the court without distance. She said strength was not only the power to command or destroy. True strength, she said, was the will to care without reward. The admission echoed through empires built on fear and control. Many rulers felt their certainty crack in silence today again and now here. The queen did not speak of kindness as weakness. She spoke of it as endurance. She explained that humans survived storms, wars, and loss by holding together. Empires fell when fear ruled alone. Care created bonds that force could not replace. The court listened without interruption. Some species had never known choice. Others had forgotten it. The queen declared that humanity's path would remain its own. No crown would sit upon human heads except those they chose themselves. This decree rewrote maps, plans, and futures across the stars. Quiet shock spread deeper than any shouted threat ever could now then. Across the chamber, reactions unfolded in silence. Some bowed their heads in respect. Others turned away in anger. A few watched Aaron with new caution. Humanity had become unpredictable. The queen welcomed this uncertainty. She said predictability was the enemy of growth. She reminded the court that her rule existed to guide balance, not freeze it. The law had been followed. The wish had been honored. Now consequences would ripple outward, beyond control or reversal. History shifted quietly while witnesses struggled to grasp its meaning. No alarms sounded, yet nothing would remain the same again for all who listened now. Aaron felt the court's attention turn away from him at last. He was no longer the focus, and that brought relief. His task was finished. Humanity's fate no longer rested on his words alone. The Queen had taken responsibility. He understood the cost she accepted. Changing direction meant facing resistance. It meant doubt from her own people. Still, she chose it. That choice mattered more than any protection she granted humanity. It proved understanding could move even ancient power toward change. The court would remember this moment long after stars faded slowly and quietly across deep time, space, and memory. The Queen concluded her judgment without ceremony. She did not demand praise or agreement. Her words stood firm. She withdrew her presence slightly, signaling the end. Guards relaxed. Observers whispered. The court began to disperse, carrying the news across light years. Empires would argue. Councils would fear change. Yet the ruling could not be undone without breaking ancient law. Humanity had stepped outside the cycle. The galaxy would now watch humans as carefully as humans watched it. Nothing about them seemed powerful, yet influence followed them. Stories would grow, shaped by curiosity instead of conquest now and far beyond here. High above, the Queen remained alone with her thoughts. She replayed human emotions still resting within her mind. They no longer overwhelmed her. They informed her. She felt no regret for the choice she made. The galaxy was vast, but stagnant paths led only to decay. Humanity offered movement. Caring did not weaken rule, it refined it. For the first time, she saw a future shaped not only by force, but by shared meaning and restraint. This realization settled deep, beyond pride, beyond fear. It would guide decisions long after this court faded into endless night, time, memory, choice, forward. Below her throne, the court slowly returned to motion. Records were sealed. Messages prepared. History marked a quiet turn. No fleets moved. No planets burned. Yet change spread faster than war ever had. Humanity's new place challenged every belief about strength. The Queen allowed herself one final thought of the human envoy. He had not demanded safety. He had offered understanding. In doing so, he reshaped power without holding it. Aaron returned to Earth without ceremony or praise. His ship arrived quietly, slipping into orbit without announcement. There were no crowds waiting, no banners, no songs. Only a small team greeted him, asking if he was well and if the mission was complete. Aaron answered simply that it was. He stepped back onto Earth's soil as the same man who had left it, carrying no title and no visible reward. That was how he preferred it. Life on Earth continued as it always had. Cities woke to traffic and voices. Children went to school. Workers argued about schedules and pay. Farmers checked weather reports and soil. No one felt the weight of a galactic decision pressing down on them. Humanity did not celebrate because humanity did not know. The sky looked the same. The stars did not burn brighter. The world kept turning, unaware that an empire had stepped aside because of one quiet choice. Aaron returned to his old work. He spoke to students, helped settle disputes, and spent long hours listening to others talk about small problems that felt large to them. He never spoke of the Queen unless asked directly, and even then he kept his words simple. He said only that understanding mattered, and that sometimes listening changed more than force. Most nodded politely and moved on. A few remembered. Far above, among the stars, the Queen watched. She did not watch with hunger or control. She watched with attention. Humanity's worlds appeared small on her displays, fragile lights scattered across space. She observed how humans argued, failed, learned, and tried again. She saw mistakes repeated and slowly corrected. She saw kindness given freely and cruelty faced without surrender. These moments held her focus longer than wars ever had. Reports arrived daily from across the galaxy. Some empires tested the limits of her ruling, pressing at edges, searching for weakness. She responded calmly, enforcing balance without violence where possible. When asked why humanity mattered, she did not speak of emotion. She spoke of resilience. She spoke of choice. Many did not understand, but they listened. That alone marked change. The Queen noticed something else. Worlds near human space began to shift. Trade grew careful and fair. Smaller species watched humans and tried cooperation instead of fear. Not because humans commanded it, but because they modeled it. Humanity did not lead openly. It simply existed, and that existence carried weight. On Earth, years passed. Humanity expanded slowly, learning caution after long history of conflict. Aaron aged, lines forming on his face. He walked quieter paths now, content to observe. Sometimes at night he looked up at the stars and wondered if anything truly changed. He never received confirmation. He did not need it. The Queen saw his doubt from afar. She understood it well now. Change rarely announced itself. It settled slowly like roots beneath soil. She thought often about power. Once it had felt simple. Now it felt layered. Authority without care seemed empty. Care without strength felt fragile. Balance required both. Humanity had shown her that truth without ever teaching it directly. Other rulers began to ask questions they had never asked before. Some resisted. Some adapted. The galaxy did not become peaceful overnight. Conflict still existed. Loss still came. But something had shifted beneath it all. Conquest no longer felt inevitable. Humanity remained unaware of the full reach of its influence. That pleased the Queen. Pride would have weakened the lesson. Instead, humans continued forward, curious and flawed, learning slowly. They did not know they were being watched with respect. Aaron lived out his days quietly. When he passed, there was no grand monument. Only a few people remembered his stories and his calm presence. That was enough. His choice did not need his name attached to it. From her throne among the stars, the Queen observed Earth's lights flicker and grow. She knew humanity would stumble again. She also knew they would stand back up. They had changed the galaxy not through fire but through care. And once such change began, it could not be undone. The stars continued to turn. The lesson endured.